connecting with nature, with love and devotion. A trusting companion built high on emotion. A good horse and rider, patiently trained.
In 1926, Purina established its working farm in Gray Summit, Missouri to support product development and feed trials. Today it's known as the Purina Animal Nutrition Center. This season of riding horses, we've got a 4-year-old granddaughter, Playgun, that was born and raised there, that we're going to use to give you an in-depth, week-to-week look at our approach with our horses. Her name is Holly Seven Petals. We call her Miss Purina. Purina has been the #1 reason our horses have stayed healthy and sound over the last 10 years. So for me to have this opportunity to use one of the horses that they've had at their farm for research is pretty special to me. So join us as we introduce Miss Purina to this new chapter in her life and let you see her transformation through our program. Our horses work hard for us every day, so nutrition is a major concern. I've relied on Purina horse feed products for over 12 years. Purina is always on the leading edge of research and nutrition innovation, and with their Feed Guard system, I know I can rely on the safety and quality of their products from coast to coast. No matter what you do with your horse, Purina has the right product for you. Visit horse.purinamills.com or find them on Facebook for more information. Guys, welcome to this week's episode of Riding Horses. All right, it's kind of hard to believe, but we have today's our final episode of season 6. We've now got 25 episodes filmed with this mare, and I'm somewhat shocked at the progress that this mare has made and the transitions that she's made up till now. And today I want to just recap a little bit what we've kind of been saying all along. You know, we look at this 25 weeks into this, and yeah, it's not hard to say, well, if I was riding that horse, I'd be way further along. I'd have been doing all that stuff by week 6. But I'm trying to give everybody the opportunity to watch these horses build a frame of mind, so to speak. There's a lot of things this mare's starting to do that, yes, she probably could have done them before now, but I wouldn't have the frame of mind that I have now. And I kind of look at it this way: if you're going to try to build trust with somebody, that trust isn't built overnight. And if I look at the things that I'm going to want to do with this mare a year from now, and I think of the pressure that I'm going to have to add to the program as we keep progressing, maybe to a year from now, like if we were going to go show her in something or start roping on her or whatever, if I don't have a frame of mind built in my horse that's going to allow me to up the ante, so to speak, then that's when things come crashing down. So today this first part of this episode, I'm just going to kind of walk through and trot through warming this mare up and show you guys what I'm looking for on my days when I'm just out here riding, just trying to warm her up. All the things that we've talked about and been working on, trying to get this horse soft in her hands, trying to get her where she's not being lazy. So I do this every day, guys. When I come out here, it doesn't matter if I'm on this horse or a different horse. I will start just by picking these horses up, like you've seen me do so many times, just to see how soft they are in my hand. And if they're leaning on me, then I'm going to do whatever I need to do to encourage that horse not to lean. Now I might, as I'm picking up on this mare, there might be some places where she's a little heavy, and you might watch me kind of draw up on that rein a little bit. Okay, all I'm trying to do when I draw up on that rein is to motivate her to not lean on it, and then reward her as soon as she gets soft. You'll watch, the more I do this, the softer she gets, to where as I start to slide my hand down, before I even pick it up, she's already coming to me. Go ahead and roll her up to a trot here. Now I'm going to spend a lot of time today just loping this mare around. And we've got her in a place out here where the ground it's pretty level, but it's darn sure not level like an arena. You see her stumble right there. So this mare's really going to have to pay attention where she's putting her feet and not get heavy in my hands and lean out here over her front end. I'm going to be working on a lot of this right here at the lope, but maybe while I'm warming her up, maybe I'll pick some places here. I'm just going to draw this right rein over her neck, change directions. I'll pick some places here to trot where I'm just warming her up, where I'll roll her up in that bridle. Here again, I'm going to take my outside rein and draw it across her neck, steer it over here. Maybe here I'll pick this inside rein up. Just keep going straight this way. Could I pick that inside shoulder up and move it out here? Or while I'm trotting here to the left, I'll tip her nose to the outside and ask her to step away from my right leg and my right rein. Again, trying to see how soft she is in my hand, how willing she is to get off my rein, off my leg. As I pick this mare up and I counter bend like that and my rein draws across the plane of her neck and she's moving away from that, she's getting the idea of moving off that rein. So then when I have her rolled up in this bridle, maybe tip just a little bit there to the left, and I'm asking her to just follow her nose. Then when I take that outside rein and lay it across her neck, you see how that helps with my steering. We work on this stuff so much at a trot and at a walk so I can build some control, so when I get to the lope, I still have these same things. Now I'm going to have to work on them a lot at a lope. But what you guys are going to see today is how much different, how much progress this mare has made. Very nice. This mare's got, for as big as she is, she really wants to be soft in my hand. But I want you guys to think about, as I ask my horse to roll up in that bridle, you know, it's not uncommon for a horse to roll up like that. But as they do that, they tend to lean forward a little bit. Okay, I want this mare thinking that just because she's in that position doesn't mean I want her to roll forward. Actually, what I want to be able to do is roll her up in that bridle and pick that shoulder up. Right there when I stopped, she kind of leaned into that just a little bit. And you just watch right here. There we go. That right there is a pretty good example of me. It's not a lot, but it's a whole lot different. You watch me back her up right there and you actually hear me smooching to her some. It's a whole lot different than what we started out. But all I'm trying to remind this mare is quit leaning out over your front end. Be ready to pick that shoulder up. So when I get to loping her around here on this uneven ground, she's not going to be stumbling and falling on her nose. I wouldn't come out here and do this on just any horse. When you've got dead grass like this, it can be pretty slick. Just seeing if she'll follow my guide right there. And see how I just made that circle a little bit smaller? Will she stay rolled up in my hand right there? Very soft right there in my hand. I'm gonna go ahead and bring her down to a walk. So I got a lot of stuff working for me now that I didn't have before. And it's hard for me, guys. I'm like everybody else. When I ask for something, I tend to want it and want it right now. It's hard for me to sometimes come out here and give my horse enough time to really work at something and develop a little bit of confidence in it. I've got more the mentality of I know what I want, I know how to get it, and I'm just going to kind of get you there as quick as I can so I can move on. But the truth is, I shouldn't be looking at this mare as to what I can stack on her tomorrow. I'm trying to look at this mare as to what am I going to be able to stack on her 6 months from now, 8 months from now, 12 months from now. Because if she doesn't have that mentality to be confident in what I'm doing, confident in what we've done, and confident about where we're going, it's not going to work very good, guys. It might have all started right here just by me getting her soft here in my hands. But I want you to notice here, you see a whole lot more of me lifting my hands now this way versus just coming back to my leg. Okay, maybe in the beginning I was just starting here to my leg. But now I'm thinking more of the lift because I want this mare thinking that. I want her thinking come to me right there. So I'm going to have the freedom, all this steering that I've been working on at the trot. This steering right here. If I just pick her up here one-handed, again, that's not fast, but what I'm really looking for more than anything is what's it feel like in my hand? What's it feel like all the way down to the feet? I mean, I can come clear out here on this rein, kind of an exaggerated feel right here with my hand this high. But you look where her head is, then I just slide my hand down here. She's thinking about following that. She's not leaning into my hand. I might come out here, I might come out of that circle and just liven her up a little bit so I've got a little bit more life. But my steering here is getting so much better. That now it's really starting to show up at lope. That feels pretty good. You know, if I can come out here and warm one up and they're that soft and they're letting me bend them around, they're not trying to pull my reins out of my hand, then I'm thinking, yeah, let's go ahead and lope around some. So, good job, hon. I'm gonna give her a short break. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Riding horses each day is a horse lover's dream.
We've been riding CSI saddle pads for close to 12 years. This custom pad was made for us in 2005, and with probably close to 10,000 hours of use on it, you can clearly see how well they hold up. With their flex plate designed to disperse uneven saddle pressure and their interchangeable Velcro system, these saddle pads will fit any horse and offer superb protection. So if you're serious about keeping your horse sound and comfortable, you need to let CSI saddle pads have your horse's back. The Kerry Coon training halter is designed to eliminate the rolling effect from a lateral pull to help keep your halter in place at all times. With sliding rings to ride with, it works with the rider to pinpoint pressure where it will help the most. Hi, I'm Kerry Coon. If you own horses, you're familiar with fly problems. Shoe fly leggings are the best fly protection you'll find because they protect the most valuable part of your horse, their legs. Their simple and easy to use design helps to reduce stress on the joints, muscles, and tendons by preventing painful fly bites on the lower legs, which keeps your horse from standing around stomping all day. Made from a flexible plastic mesh, they do not restrict blood flow or range of motion and allow plenty of air circulation. So if you're looking for fly protection that has your horse's health in mind, Shoe Fly leggings is your best answer. Our horses wear them, you'll want your horses to wear them too. So check out your local feed or tack store, or for more information, go to shoeflyleggings.com. All right, guys, welcome back to the show today. All right, I haven't, up until now, I've loped this mare around some, but I haven't loped her a lot. I haven't let you guys really see me lope a lot of circles. So that's kind of what I'm going to do the rest of this episode is I'm just going to lope this mare around and kind of show you guys some different things that I'm going to be working on, checking out, make sure I've got the ability to pick this mare's shoulders up, if I need to move her hip over, if she's getting heavy on my hands. Really, the concept of loping a horse around is these horses get good at what we practice. So I need to be thinking about if I'm going to lope one around, over time I'm going to get to where I lope a lot of circles, an awful lot of circles. And I want the repetition of these circles to be my biggest motivator for my horse to start listening to me. Go ahead and lope here to the right first. Now, I mentioned this ground out here. This ground is beneficial to me on this mare. And as I lope her around here, for the most part, I'm just directing a little bit. I've really not got her rolled up in this bridle much. Kind of leaving her head alone. Kind of let her feel where her feet are. I like to use this ground like this to really get my horse to pay attention to where they're going, where they're traveling, paying attention to where they're putting their feet. If all you ever do is lope one around in there in your round pen or in your arena where that ground's really, really level, you bring one out here like this, they don't always do real good. I'm going to go ahead and roll her up in this bridle a little bit. Now I'm just going to steer across with that left rein right there. We'll just come down to a walk right here. The way we've got this set up, our gate to get back into the barn is right over here. So there's places where obviously she's looking over there. I'm just going to take advantage of them, guys. You're going to see me do that right there. You're going to see me steer this mare a lot away from that, and as she does, I'll just come down to a walk. Reward her a little bit, let her think about what she's doing. Go ahead and steer her across right there. Go ahead and steer her back across right here. And steer back across right here again. Steer across right here. It's like I'm just making a little bit sharper turn right there. Instead of just staying on my circle over here like this, it's almost like I'm just cutting across that circle. What I'm trying to do at this point now, instead of me just using my direct rein like this, now I'm trying to use more of my indirect rein, my outside rein, which will eventually be my neck rein. I'm still helping some with my right rein, But what I'm really trying to get this mare to do is understand that right there. Just thinking down the road where we'll eventually have her one-handed. Now I'm going to pick this mare up here with my inside rein. Move that shoulder out just a little bit. Then here I'm going to pick her up, steer her across to the camera, and we'll come down to a walk. So really, I'm just kind of loping around out here, trying to find places where I can pick up on her and move her over. And after she lopes a little bit, I'm just going to come down to a walk. Maybe just leave her alone for a minute. Maybe just set my hands down and not, instead of me continuing with all of this right here, you know, she lopes around there and she feels pretty good. I'm just going to set my hand down and give her a minute to think about that. Then we'll go back to the lope. Pick her up here, make me a small circle. So I roll her up in my bridle like so. Maybe pick her up, steer her across there. And then I kind of turn loose of her. I'm not going to hold this horse all the time. Come in here again. And as I come in here, I'm going to go ahead and slow down to the trot. Back up to the trot. Then I'll come down to a walk right here. I like to roll them up in the bridle as I'm loping and then turn loose of them. Roll them back up in the bridle, turn loose of them. Because here's what I noticed. And this mare's kind of gone through it. And you guys have gotten to see some of it in some past episodes where I'd roll this mare up in the bridle and she'd lean on me a little bit, but then when I set my hand down, well, she'd really speed up. And I actually had a couple days I was out here riding her. Camera wasn't even out here. Where I would roll her up in the bridle. And when I would set my hand down, I mean, she'd just leave. She'd gain a lot of speed. And I just let her lope around there. I might even just turn loose of her and let her lope until she came back to me. Because I want to get her where I can roll her up in that bridle like that. Get her a little softer there. And then when I turn loose of her, she doesn't just blow off. What I'd like to get her thinking about doing is maintaining the same cadence, the same rhythm. When I roll her up in that bridle, you know, if she'll come to me and not lean on me and let me lift her rib cage up as well as her shoulder when we're loping around there, obviously her stride's going to shorten a little bit compared to when I'm just loping around and I set my hand down and she runs her old head down and sticks her nose out a little bit. Her stride might be a little bit longer there, but speed-wise, I want these horses to think about finding that certain speed and just maintaining it. And what I've noticed is, and not just people that I've watched, I've noticed it with myself on horses in the past. If I'm trying to force my horse up into that bridle and hold them there and they really don't want to be there, and I really don't give a darn what they think, then them horses tend to get a little bit frustrated with what I'm doing, and it shows up tremendously when I set my hand down. Because you get a horse mad when you got him rolled up in that bridle, you might not, if you're a pretty good horseman and you're sitting on that horse, you're going to know he's mad. Somebody watching, they might not see it, but you set your hand down, they're probably going to see it because that horse is going to be gone. Okay, and this mare, I mean, it wouldn't be hard to get her in that frame of mind. That's why we're trying to take our time and give you guys the opportunity to see the repetition and how long this is going to take. But if I'm willing to build it slowly, then I don't run into those roadblocks where nothing's working and my horse's mind is shut completely off. That's probably more loping than you guys have seen this mare do since we started filming with her. So, man, that felt good. There's a lot of places she's really coming to me, moving over. Better give her a short break here, so you guys stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Riding horses each day is a horse lover's dream.
With all the hauling and training we do each year, we put a lot of stress on our horses. Since adding Forco to our feeding program to help maintain the digestive system, our horses have never looked better, acted better, or performed as well as they do now. Our horsemanship company keeps us out on the road all year long. We can't afford to be broke down along the highway with a trailer load of horses. Nothing keeps our trucks running better and saves us money with less frequent oil changes than BG Oil products. Find your nearest BG Oil product dealer today so you can enjoy the BG advantage. We are very excited to be bringing on board Lisa's Western Wear in Pratt, Kansas as a new team member here at Kerry Coon Horsemanship. Lisa's Western Wear has the latest in Western fashions for men and women. They have a great selection of jeans, shirts, boots, hats, children's apparel, jewelry, Western style home decor, as well as a full line of ropes and tack. They also carry the snaffle and transition bits that we use in our program that we feel are so important in building that proper foundation. So if you're looking for something Western, check them out at lisaswesternwear.com, or if you're in the area, be sure to stop in and see them. Okay guys, welcome back. Man, this mare really feels good today. I'm gonna lope her around here a little bit more, but as good as she feels, I like to kind of come out here with this in mind. If my horse will really put out some effort to work with me that day, my goal is to cut it all down. Or maybe I don't stay out here and work on whatever it is I'm working on that day as long. So kind of give my horse some incentive. Hey, if I'd pay more attention, I wouldn't have to lope as many circles, so to speak. And as good as she feels right now, I'm not gonna lope a bunch more circles, but we'll lope her around a little bit more. I'm gonna widen my area out just a little bit. There's some ground over here that's a little bit more uneven. Actually, there's a little ravine right there I could lope off in, but my cameraman might yell at me. Right here, I'm just gonna go ahead and pick her up right there. Just a kind of reminder, make sure it's all working, make sure she's not just thinking about going back to the gate. Right there as I loped off. She loped off a little bit fast, but she came back to me pretty quick. I'm gonna bring her down here in a small circle right here. over there on that side of my circle, she was really wanting to drift out. Kind of surprising. That's kind of the opposite way of the gate back to the house. Now I picked up on her right there, was just gonna kind of counterbend her a little bit. And as I picked up on her, she came down to the trot. Not a big deal. I didn't ask her to slow down. Now I didn't ask for that counter canter right there either, but I'm gonna go ahead and use it. Counter canter's got her where she really wants to drift out. I'm gonna bring her down to a trot right here. Again, it's not about me getting after her. And even up until now, we've worked this entire time without ever introducing this horse to a pair of spurs. And what I'm really working on, like this right here, if she wasn't wanting to follow my guide, I would probably have a tendency, if I had that spur on, to really want to use it. And the scenario that I'm in right now, we'll go ahead and squeeze back up to a lope. Now I'm going to help her find this left lead this time. Now I'm going to go ahead and just ride her one-handed right here. I've got my hand set on my rein where my inside rein, when I pick it up, I'm going to move my hand to the inside just a little bit. So my inside rein is tipping the nose to the inside, but yet my outside rein is coming across her neck, asking her to do that. So what I had a few circles ago, this mare was really wanting to fade to the outside, especially over here. And now she's coming back to me, even one-handed here. I'm going to go ahead and slow her to a walk. It's way harder for me than it is this horse. When I'm in that scenario and they're drifting out a little bit, I'll just be honest with you guys. My mentality is to really get after them with my leg out there. And I'm not saying that somewhere down the road there might not be a time and a place for that. But I'm trying to get myself out of that mentality and get back to thinking, well, what could I be working on to get this mare to focus more on the steering part, following my guide, listening to my reins. So I'm going to steer the same way here, just one-handed. My inside rein's going to be a little bit shorter, so when I pick up on her right there, it's going to tip her nose to the inside. That right there feels really good. Even rolling her up in that bridle a little bit there, one-handed. Really good move right there. Go ahead and bring her down to a walk right here. and we'll just walk out of it. And here's where I'm going to give this mare a little bit of time to just think about, well, he's going to ask me to work. He's going to get me loping around out here. Now you guys watch here. Even as I'm walking, this mare's loped around a little bit. I'm not going to let her get lazy. But I got to give this mare this time right here to think about, what can I do to where I don't have to lope so many circles? What is it this guy's looking for? And if you guys will think about timing your release and think about, when am I going to come back to a walk? Well, when my horse follows my feel, follows my guide here at the trot, I'm just going to use this counter bend a couple times. Back to the lope here. I'm going to roll her up in this bridle a little bit more. Maybe on this circle here, I'm just going to focus more on rolling her up in that bridle a little bit more. Not so much the steering. Obviously, I'm not going to let her just drift out. And then when she feels pretty good here in my hand, well, we'll just come down to a walk. And just give her a minute. You know, of all the things that we've done with this mare up till now, I think today might give us an even better understanding of, it's just little by little, guys. I'm going to get to a point where I'm going to lope a lot of circles, but as I'm loping those circles, they're not just going to be endless circles. I'm trying to get my horse to a place where she's thinking about what I'm doing. You know, she felt good enough right there. I think I'm just going to go ahead and step off here and loosen this cinch. This is a big release right here, guys. And if I've got places where I'm willing to stop out here and just step off and loosen my cinch and make it that much more of a big deal to her, that where I'm sitting here saying good job, or just giving her a chance to rest, loosening them cinch where she can blow a little bit. All that is incentive for this mare to be working for me. Of all the things I've ever created in a horse, all the horses that in the past that struggled working for me, that struggle came from me not willing to help them, like I'm trying my best to help this mare. And it all goes back to what I was saying over here a few minutes ago. They want to kind of lean a little bit, and I have that mentality of, there's no way I'm going to let you lean into my leg, and I just punish them for it. And again, I'm not saying that there isn't a time and a place for that. But where I'm at with this mare, where I'm trying to build some confidence, and what if I'm thinking this? I'm trying to get her where she's thinking about her job and what she could do to make it easier for both of us, instead of creating a frame of mind where she hates her job. And if all I'm doing is punishing her out here for every time she makes what I might say a mistake, then guys, my horses are going to struggle. They're going to struggle with following my lead, and they're sure going to struggle with putting out some effort to work for me and not against me. That was fantastic. You know, again, this is the end of season 6 for us. So here we are, 25 episodes into this mare's training process, and where we started and where we're at today. She's not typically what I'm looking for. This mare is, in fact, she's so darn tall I can't hardly get on her from the ground. She's a lot bigger horse than what I'm used to, but what I'm starting to feel in my hands, she doesn't necessarily travel around like a big horse. She's really starting to get soft and let me pick up on her. So I think this mare is going to have a huge future. If she doesn't, I don't think it's going to be because of her. I think it's going to be because I got in her way somewhere. So maybe I might ask you guys, if you sat down and looked at the approach that you take with your horse, is it one that motivates your horse to work more for you? They're willing to work harder for you because they have some incentive to follow your lead? Or are they doing it just so they don't have to suffer the consequences? Because if that's all it is, guys, you're not ever going to have the horse that you could have. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in with us through season 5, now through season 6, watching this mare's progress. The cool thing now that we're starting to get more control built, now we can get to the stuff that most of y'all think is really fun. So I'm excited with where this mare's going to go. I'm excited about her future, and I just hope that I don't get in her way and screw it up. So thank y'all very much for tuning in this week, and we'll see you guys in season 7.
Whoa, let's ride some horses, but remember they need a leader to trust and to help them succeed. Oh, let's ride some horses, that look in their eye. So saddle me up and let's go for a ride.
Say goodbye to the folks, Patch. Good boy.